What if I told you there's a royal family whose fortune eclipses $335 billion, a dynasty so powerful they own palaces in Paris, islands in the Gulf, and mega yachts worth hundreds of millions? The Althani family of Qatar doesn't just spend, they control global luxury, fashion, and even football empires. Stay until the end, because one secret about their trillionaire lifestyle will make even billionaires look ordinary. Legacy, diplomacy, and global power. Centuries ago, Qatar was a modest pearl fishing society scattered along the Gulf. Today, it's the domain of the Althani dynasty, one of the richest ruling families in the world, controlling an empire valued at $335 billion. This transformation didn't happen by chance. It was engineered generation after generation by rulers who understood that true power lies not only in oil and gas, but in diplomacy, culture, and legacy. The family's ability to convert desert sands into skyscrapers and financial towers has been nothing short of visionary. Under the leadership of successive amirs, Qatar established Qatar Petroleum and the Qatar Investment Authority, institutions that now manage assets across London, Paris, New York, and beyond. Investments in brands like Valentino, Balmain, and LVMH gave them an immediate seat at the table of global luxury, embedding Qatar's name next to the world's most powerful fashion houses. But their wealth is only half the story. Their global influence has been amplified by carefully cultivated relationships, particularly with the British royal family. For decades, personal ties with Buckingham Palace provided not just prestige but leverage, transforming the Althani dynasty from regional rulers into international power brokers. These ties allowed Qatar to secure multi-billion-dollar real estate deals in London, including the iconic Dudley House, one of the city's most expensive mansions. Culturally, the family has walked a fine line between tradition and modernity. Hosting the 2022 FIFA World Cup, they presented Qatar as a global hub, while still enforcing Islamic cultural values. The decision to ban alcohol sales during the tournament sent a clear message. Modernization does not mean abandoning identity. It was a reminder that while skyscrapers rise and luxury brands expand, the nation remains rooted in heritage. From pearl divers to power players, the Althani family's story is proof that wealth alone doesn't define a dynasty. Vision does. They've crafted a legacy where palaces, mega yachts, and private islands are only the surface, while the real foundation is influence stitched into the fabric of global politics and culture. Comment, royal legacy, if you believe Qatar's rise shows that true power isn't just about billions, it's about shaping history itself. Paris Saint-Germain and sports diplomacy. When the Althani dynasty purchased Paris Saint-Germain in 2011, it wasn't just the acquisition of a football club. It was the beginning of a global strategy. At that time, PSG was far from the European elite, but under Qatari ownership, billions of dollars flowed into player signings, branding, and infrastructure, turning the club into both a sports empire and a political tool of soft power. Over the years, Qatar transformed PSG into one of the most valuable clubs in the world, now worth more than $4 billion. They invested in the Parc des Princes, expanding it into a stadium worthy of international spectacle. World record signings followed, Neymar Jr. for $222 million, Kylian Mbappé with contracts valued in the hundreds of millions. These players became more than athletes. They became global ambassadors for Qatar's vision. And then came the moment that silenced critics forever. PSG lifted the UEFA Champions League trophy for the first time in its history. The victory didn't just electrify Paris, it validated an entire decade of Qatari investment. Billions spent, years of strategy, global stars brought together, it all culminated on a single night, where Qatar's football dream finally became European reality. For the Althani family, it wasn't just about winning a tournament. It was about showing the world that with vision, money, and determination, even history can be rewritten. But PSG is only one piece of their chessboard. Sponsorships with Qatar Airways, Ooredoo, and QNB turned the club into a marketing platform that stretched across continents. Every jersey sold with the Nike swoosh carried Qatar's name into homes worldwide. Every headline reinforced their role not only as owners, but as architects of a new sports dynasty. Beyond football, their passion for prestige continues in horse racing. The Qatar Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, one of the most prestigious races on earth, is now synonymous with Qatari wealth and influence. In motorsport, Qatar has become a key stop in the Formula One calendar, hosting the Grand Prix at the Lusail International Circuit, where billion-dollar brands converge. For the Althani dynasty, sport is not just competition. It is global diplomacy dressed in athletic triumph, a way of weaving Qatar into the cultural fabric of Europe and beyond. With PSG's Champions League victory, their investment has reached the ultimate symbol of validation: glory on the world's biggest stage. Real estate icons, palaces, mansions, and private islands. The Althani dynasty doesn't just live in homes, they command architectural masterpieces that span continents. In Qatar, their royal footprint begins with the Al Ran Palace, a sprawling estate that embodies the heart of Qatari tradition. With its gilded halls, marble courtyards, and domed architecture, it stands not only as a residence, but as the ceremonial center of power. Nearby, the Al Shakbad farm reflects another passion of the family: horses. Worth tens of millions of dollars, the farm is one of the world's premier equestrian facilities, raising thoroughbreds that dominate international competitions, a subtle blend of luxury lifestyle and national heritage. But the Althanis didn't stop at home soil. They expanded into Europe, buying properties that redefine real estate prestige. In London, the family purchased Dudley House, a historic mansion on Park Lane, restored to perfection with crystal chandeliers, Italian marble, and bespoke interiors crafted by elite designers. This residence alone is valued at more than $400 million, making it one of the most expensive private homes in the United Kingdom. Owning Dudley House isn't just about luxury, it's about possessing a slice of British history, cementing the Althanis place among Europe's most powerful landlords. Across the Channel in Paris, they acquired the Hôtel Lambert, an architectural jewel from the 17th century, situated on the Île Saint-Louis. Once home to French nobility and artists, the property was restored under Qatari ownership, with renovations rumored to exceed $100 million, transforming it into both a cultural landmark and a private palace. Each acquisition signals not just wealth, but influence, embedding Qatar's royals deep within the cultural capitals of Europe. In New York, the dynasty's holdings include luxury penthouses that tower over Manhattan, priced in the tens of millions of dollars each, offering sweeping views of Central Park and the Hudson River. These spaces are not just residences, they are vantage points, overlooking the financial capital of the world. And then there is Alafa Island, a private sanctuary surrounded by turquoise waters of the Gulf. With pristine beaches, helipads, and villas designed to rival the Maldives, the island represents ultimate exclusivity. It is where discretion meets extravagance, a private world reserved for royal retreats and elite gatherings away from global eyes. For the Althani family, real estate is not about shelter, it is about legacy, diplomacy, and strategic positioning. Each palace, mansion, and island another cornerstone in an empire designed to project both power and permanence. The hypercar fleet, billion-dollar garage. For the Althani dynasty, luxury doesn't stop at palaces and islands. It roars to life on asphalt. Their garage is a billion-dollar museum of speed, filled with some of the rarest hypercars on Earth. At its core stands the Bugatti Veyron, once the fastest production car in history. With a top speed surpassing 250 miles per hour and a price tag climbing past $2 million, it embodies engineering as much as excess. But in Qatar, the Veyron is just the opening act. Alongside it sits the Lamborghini Veneno, one of only a handful ever built. Valued at nearly $5 million, the Veneno is a razor-sharp wedge of carbon fiber designed to slice through air and attention alike. It's not just a car, it's a limited edition statement of power, a machine that even seasoned collectors can only dream of acquiring. For most billionaires, owning one hypercar is enough. For Qatar's royals, it's merely a starting point. Then comes the McLaren P1, the British masterpiece that merges hybrid technology with Formula One performance. Worth more than $1.5 million, the P1 is proof that the Althanis don't just chase tradition, they embrace innovation. Its presence in their fleet sends a message that Qatar's royals see the future, not in cutting-edge hybrid engineering, but in cutting-edge hybrid engineering. And no collection would be complete without the Ferrari LaFerrari, Maranello's crowning achievement. With only 499 units ever produced, each valued at well over $3 million, the LaFerrari is as much a piece of art as it is a vehicle. To drive one is to own a slice of Ferrari's soul. And in Qatar's garage, it joins the chorus of machines that redefine rarity. But the story doesn't end with these four legends. The fleet reportedly includes Koenigsegg Ageras, Pagani Huayras, and even bespoke Rolls-Royce models customized to royal specifications. Every brand, every model, every price tag is a reminder that for the Althani family, cars are not about transportation, they are about identity. Each engine rev is a flex of influence, each delivery a headline. Comment Royal Garage if you think this hypercar collection proves that Qatar's royal family doesn't just rule kingdoms, they rule speed itself. The $335 billion empire. The true scale of the Althani dynasty's wealth defies imagination. With an estimated fortune of $335 billion, they are not just one of the richest royal families on earth, they are an economic powerhouse that rivals entire nations. What began with oil and gas reserves under the desert has expanded into a global portfolio that stretches across finance, technology, fashion, sports, and real estate. Each sector carefully chosen to secure Qatar's dominance long after hydrocarbons fade. The backbone of this empire is the Qatar Investment Authority, one of the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world, managing assets worth hundreds of billions. Through it, the family has acquired prime real estate in global capitals, towering skyscrapers in New York, luxury hotels in Italy, and historic mansions in London. Properties like the Shard in London and stakes in Canary Wharf are not just investments, they are symbols of soft power, concrete reminders that Qatar owns pieces of the world's most prestigious skylines. Fashion and luxury have become equally important pillars. The family holds significant stakes in Valentino, Balmain, and LVMH, embedding Qatar's royal name into the same conversation as Louis Vuitton, Dior, and Fendi. These aren't casual purchases. They are deliberate moves that ensure Qatar's influence extends beyond boardrooms into the cultural arenas where status is defined. Each acquisition positions the Althani dynasty as curators of taste, aligning their royal identity with global luxury branding. Banking and technology further diversified the empire. Investments in Barclays, Volkswagen, and even Silicon Valley Ventures have secured returns measured not just in billions of dollars, but in influence over industries that shape the modern world. By spreading their reach across sectors, the Althani family has shielded Qatar's future from the volatility of oil prices, building an economic fortress that few can rival. The empire's scale is staggering, but its sophistication is what sets it apart. It isn't just wealth hoarded in vaults, it is wealth deployed strategically, weaving Qatar into the DNA of global commerce. From couture runways in Paris to trading floors in London, from Manhattan penthouses to Middle Eastern palaces, the Althani fortune is a living organism, constantly expanding, diversifying, and tightening its grip on the levers of global power. Priceless art and jewelry collection. For the Althani dynasty, wealth is not only measured in billions of dollars or palaces across continents, it is crystallized in art and jewelry collections so valuable that even museums struggle to compete. Among their crown jewels sits Paul Cézanne's The Card Players, a masterpiece purchased for more than $250 million, setting a record as one of the most expensive artworks ever sold. For the family, owning Cézanne was not just about art, it was about securing a permanent place in the cultural narrative of the West. Their acquisitions extend far beyond one canvas. The collection includes Islamic manuscripts, Mughal jewels, and Western masterpieces, each piece carrying both artistic and political weight. Diamonds the size of marbles, emeralds once belonging to Indian emperors, and tiaras crafted for European nobility are now part of Qatar's vaults. The royal jewelry collection alone is estimated to be worth billions of dollars, yet many pieces remain hidden, revealed only during private exhibitions or state events. Their appetite for art has transformed Doha into a global cultural hub. The Museum of Islamic Art, designed by architect I.M. Pei, houses treasures spanning 1,400 years, much of it funded or acquired under the patronage of the Althani family. Their support for the Qatar Foundation and countless cultural institutions means their legacy is not just personal wealth, but national prestige, displayed through marble galleries and glass cases. But great wealth attracts great risk. In 2018, their Venetian exhibition was rocked by an audacious theft when masked intruders stole priceless jewels valued at tens of millions of dollars. Though many pieces were recovered, the incident exposed the vulnerability of even the most protected treasures. It served as a reminder. When your collection rivals that of royal dynasties and global museums, it becomes a target as much as a triumph. Today, their art and jewelry holdings are considered among the most significant private collections in the world. While oil and gas built Qatar's fortune, art cements its cultural authority. For the Althanis, every Cézanne painting, every Mughal diamond, every tiara of European royalty is more than luxury. It is influence carved in history, a legacy that ensures their name endures long after empires of wealth fade. Lavish celebrations and cultural grandeur. When the Althani family hosts a celebration, it is not simply an event. It is an exhibition of wealth, tradition, and power, staged for the world to witness. In Doha, weddings and royal gatherings often stretch into the hundreds of millions of dollars, blending centuries-old Qatari customs with the extravagance of modern luxury. Guests arrive in convoys of Rolls-Royce Phantoms, while dining halls glitter under chandeliers sourced from Swarovski, and banquet tables overflow with delicacies imported from Paris and Tokyo. Music and performance are woven into these spectacles. Traditional sword dances stand alongside international artists. Rumors have placed performances by global icons like Beyoncé and Jennifer Lopez at private royal events, contracts worth several $1 million each. Fireworks light up the desert sky, choreographed with the same precision seen in Olympic ceremonies, while drone shows form the Althani crest above Doha's skyline. Jewelry plays a central role in these gatherings. Royal brides have worn diamond sets valued at over $100 million, with emeralds and sapphires sourced from the most exclusive houses of Cartier and Van Cleef & Arpels. These displays are not mere indulgence, they are visual affirmations of the dynasty's supremacy, intended to rival the glamour of European monarchies and Hollywood royalty combined. Even the venues are statements of intent. Some events take place in private palaces designed with Italian marble, Persian carpets, and custom furniture from Fendi Casa. Others are staged at purpose-built luxury pavilions, erected solely for a single evening, then dismantled the next day, an act of extravagance few others on earth could replicate. But behind the pageantry lies strategy. These celebrations are as much about diplomacy as they are about indulgence. By inviting heads of state, global CEOs and cultural icons into their world, the Althani family uses hospitality as a political instrument. Every toast, every performance, every jewel-encrusted dress is part of a narrative that positions Qatar not merely as a nation, but as a stage where tradition, luxury, and influence collide in dazzling harmony. Mega yachts, floating palaces of power. On land, the Althani family commands palaces and skyscrapers. At sea, their power glides across the waves in the form of mega yachts worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The most famous is the Mirqab, a floating palace valued at nearly $400 million. Stretching over 430 feet, it features 10 luxury suites, a private cinema, a swimming pool that converts into a dance floor, and interiors designed with marble, gold accents, and bespoke furniture, crafted by Italian luxury houses like Fendi Casa. For guests, it feels less like a yacht and more like checking into a five-star resort that happens to sail. Then there is the Qatar, another colossal vessel, equally rumored to exceed $300 million in value. Equipped with multiple helipads, a full spa, VIP salons, and accommodations that rival the most exclusive hotels in Monaco, Qatar embodies the very definition of maritime prestige. When it docks in places like Sardinia or the French Riviera, it isn't just a yacht arriving. It's Qatar's royal presence made visible to the world's elite. These yachts are more than indulgence, they are instruments of diplomacy. Heads of state, CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, and Hollywood icons have all been hosted aboard, where business deals worth billions are discussed under crystal chandeliers as the sea stretches endlessly outside. For the Althani family, the ocean is not just a place for leisure, it is another stage to project influence. Every detail, from the art hanging in private salons to the wine cellars stocked with bottles worth tens of thousands of dollars, reinforces the message. Wealth here is limitless and exclusivity is absolute. The mega yachts serve as Qatar's floating embassies, combining tradition, luxury, and strategy in ways few can rival. Comment royal yachts if you think these floating palaces prove that the Althani family has turned even the oceans into a kingdom of their own. From $335 billion in wealth to iconic estates like London's Dudley House, from the mega yachts Mirqab and Qatar to priceless art collections and Paris Saint-Germain, the Qatari royal family embodies a lifestyle few can imagine. Yet their power isn't only measured in mansions or Bugatti hypercars. It's also in diplomacy, cultural influence, and global investments that rewrite the balance of wealth. This is more than luxury, it's legacy. If you enjoyed exploring the untold riches of Qatar's royal family, hit that like button, subscribe to Billionaire Story, and join us for the next journey into hidden empires.